Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Watch my video and subscribe my channel. Steffy gives up after Ridge's betrayal. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful from July 28th to August 1st, 2025 show Ridge Forrester betraying Steffy Forrester, like we always do on the first day of the month. Let's start with what's going to happen the rest of this week. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Brooke hits Ridge with an ultimatum. On Wednesday, July 23rd, Brooke Logan started this chat on Tuesday. It will continue on Wednesday. She is giving Ridge one last opportunity. Brooke is basically telling them to stop this nonsense. Stop being engaged to Taylor Hayes. Choose me. Choose your destiny. Or Brooke may say, you know what? I'm going to look into my other options. One of which is his brother, Nick Marone. If Ridge rejects her again, which I do expect him to do, Brooke's going to go all in with Nick, and there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff happening between them in Italy. I think Ridge is going to stay by his guns, at least for now. But things change significantly next week. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Daphne returns to LA. Daphne Rose is back in LA, which really stuns Carter Walton. If you remember, Steffy stated she was going to bring back Daphne, and Hope Logan was grumbling about it. But Steffy stated this is business, and Hope's feelings shouldn't be influencing business decisions. Plus, Steffy claims Hope and Carter are engaged, so it should be a non-issue. I suspect that it will be a non-issue, though. Ridge and Nick are butting heads. They really can't stand each other. Ridge is not happy that Brooke is bringing Nick along as a +1 on their trip. But Brooke's attitude is since he's with Taylor, she can do what she wants. Accurate. Ridge also constantly repeating that she can see any man she wants, but the one that he doesn't want her to, which is Nick. I suppose Brooke probably feels the same way. If you're not going to be with me, you could be with any other lady. Why does it have to be the one lady I don't want you to be with, which is Taylor? Ridge never spots his own hypocrisy. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Intense love triangle drama between Ridge, Brooke, Taylor, and Nick. Steffy and Taylor have a very crucial chat at the Forrester mansion. Taylor is feeling quite optimistic things are going to change in the next 2 weeks for her. Steffy doesn't want Brooke traveling on this Italy trip, but she cannot stop it. Taylor explains that Eric Forrester wants Brooke there. Steffy agrees that Grandpa pushed and Ridge relented on that point when talking to Eric. I also thought it was nice that Ridge fought back hard on Eric and basically said, I'm an adult, but out of my love life. Then Eric called him stupid. Eric has chosen how things should be, and that's just not up to him. Of course, he's not going to butt out. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Taylor being the bigger person. Taylor insists that Brooke going along makes sense for Forrester Creations because Brooke is very popular in Europe. Steffy insists that Ridge is not going to be giving Brooke attention while they're on the Italy trip. Steffy says it must be stressful to her parents since Taylor and Ridge just got engaged, and now Brooke is heading to Naples with Ridge. Taylor says she knows that Eric is thrilled that Brooke is going along, and she's very aware that Eric wants Ridge with Brooke and not her. Taylor's being nice and claims she respects Eric, but she knows this is real. Ridge flat out told Eric that he thinks he is absolutely disrespecting Taylor, and I agree. Key character interactions and business conflicts in Bold and the Beautiful. On Thursday, July 24th, Taylor talks to Nick. They're exes as well, because they all have to date the same individuals. Nick's firm is founded in Italy, but he's also going over there to spend time with Brooke. He's excited that she's going, but he came back to LA to see her once he heard that she and Ridge weren't together particularly. Taylor is chatting to Nick and wants him to make major romantic gestures to Brooke while they're over there. Taylor is absolutely Team Nick and wants him to win over Brooke once and for all. Not that Taylor's not feeling secure about her and Ridge. She is, which I think is rather dumb. But I just think she would like Brooke to be off the market, so maybe Eric will stop pursuing. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Sheila surprises Steffy and Liam. Steffy travels back over to see Liam Spencer this week at the Spencer estate. She sits at his bedside looking in on him. She's still worried about him. Guess who shows up? Sheila Carter hobbles in to visit. After that kind of bizarre discussion with Lee Finnegan at Il Giardino, Sheila's up and about on crutches. Steffy and Liam are going to be a little licked off when Sheila shows off her 8 piggy toes. She lost the lengthy toe on that same foot. I said the other day that means no more flip-flops, which is going to be hard in California out in the sun. Eric keeps pushing Ridge towards Brooke. He is doing emotionally manipulative things, and that continues on Thursday. Steffy and Liam's friendship develops stronger, not in a romantic manner, but in a we've got a lot of history and we care about each other way. That continues as they discuss about his near-death experience. It appears like that happens before Sheila stops by. Finn's suspicions regarding Grace on Bold and the Beautiful. On Friday, July 25th, Finn is really certain that something super suspicious is going on with Grace Buckingham. Bridget Forrester was already grilling Grace this week at University Hospital, but that scrutiny is far from over. Finn is investigating into Liam's scans, and maybe he's going to be taking a much closer look, especially at the scans that she informed them about. I don't know how closely Finn really looked at the tumor imaging before. I'm interested if any of those scans are genuinely of Liam's brain. Did he actually even have an MRI, or is all this just dodgy? It seems like he could definitely go at the test records and find out. Taylor presents an idea to Nick. Maybe something he can do as a grand gesture for Brooke to improve his chances with her and hopefully to keep Brooke away from Ridge. Sheila has reason to be hopeful thanks to Steffy. During that visit with Liam, I wonder if we're going to see Steffy buckling a little bit as Sheila's concerned. Obviously, I don't believe Steffy's going to welcome her home for Sunday dinner. But maybe she'll accept that she can see Finn now and again at Il Giardino when he drops by to pick up pizza or whatever. Upcoming Bold and the Beautiful sweeps. Italy location shoots and dramatic twists. The week of July 28th through August 1st is going to be consumed largely by the location shots. Those are running from Monday, July 28th, all the way through Tuesday, August 5th, and sweeps wraps on July 30th. They're going to be hitting that hard, and things are going to be really tense on Bold and the Beautiful. Nick is going to be wooing Brooke as much as he can in Italy, but I think both Ridge and Eric may be barriers. Ridge has an epiphany. It's going to be similar to that Aventine keyhole that she was talking about when they were in Italy last time. That's going to damage Nick's prospects with Brooke and wind up destroying Taylor's engagement to Ridge. That's according to Brad Bell. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Ridge's epiphany and Ivy's pursuit of Liam and Jack's exit. We know there's some kind of accident where Ridge ends up in the water. It looks like life flashes before his eyes, and he realizes Brooke's the one. There's a behind-the-scenes photo from the location session. He either dives in or falls into the water in Italy. We'll also see Finn's doubts regarding Grace intensify. There will be some scenes back in LA, but a lot of it's going to be Italy. Things are looking up for Sheila, but we're also going to see Ivy Forrester wanting to see Liam. The primary focus is going to be on Nick going all out to try and win Brooke. By the time they're done in Italy, Brooke is going to be done with Nick. Jack Wagner exits after these scenes. He had to go back to tape a fresh season of When Calls the Heart. Carter and Daphne trade confessions. Nick busted sabotaging Forrester. The Bold and the Beautiful recap for Wednesday, July 23rd, shows that Carter Walton and Daphne Rose shared confessions while Nick Marone was arrested damaging Forrester Creations' latest silk delivery. In the CEO office, Ridge Forrester felt like Brooke Logan was giving him an ultimatum by threatening to bring Nick to Italy if he didn't choose her over Taylor Hayes. Brooke thought Ridge loved her more than Taylor, but Nick ultimately stopped the conversation. After Ridge left, that gave Nick another chance to pitch Brooke on all the Italy fun they could have together. After Nick obtained reports on the Forresters fretting over a lost silk order, he made a dubious phone call. Nick spoke to someone about the container of silk for Forrester and said to hold it. At the Forrester mansion on Wednesday's B&B episode, Taylor talked to Steffy Forrester about Eric Forrester and how he'd prefer if Ridge was with Brooke instead. Donna Logan also came up to admit she still thought Ridge and Brooke belonged together. Although Nick had earned Brooke's attention in the past, Donna thought that Ridge was the love of Brooke's life and that Brooke was Ridge's too. Back at Forrester Creations, Carter felt a smell of Daphne as she returned to the premises. After Daphne got a warm welcome back from Carter and Eric, there was some talk about her perfume line and more plans for it. Daphne also emphasized all the chaos Steffy had been through and wanted to support her. Carter eventually told Daphne that he'd missed seeing her, so she confessed she missed him too, though she was surprised to hear him admit it on his end. However, Carter said they were friends and that he was pleased to see Daphne again. After Carter questioned how long Daphne would be hanging around, she could only give him a cryptic, "We shall see." Back with Ridge, he complained to Eric about Nick before getting a phone call about the delayed silk shipment. Ridge fumed when he got the word that it was held up by Nick's shipping company. After Ridge put Nick on full blast over the sabotage, Nick tried to explain it away and made another phone call to move the shipment along. Ridge went on a tirade about Nick messing with people and refused to let him do that to Logan. Nick urged Ridge to shut up and stop calling Brooke that since he was married another woman. Lee confesses living Luna's secret to Sheila, warns don't tell Finn. The bold and the beautiful spoilers predict that Lee Finnegan may expose a living Luna Nozawa's secret to Sheila Sharp. Will he come clean at some time and warn Sheila not to tell John Finnegan the truth? In BNB's July 22nd episode, Lee and Sheila discovered some common ground over Luna. Sheila expressed disbelief at them finding consolation with one another, so Lee said that Sheila was the only one grieving for Luna like her. From Sheila's perspective, it seems like nobody other than Lee cares about Luna's dismal plight. That's why Sheila's latching onto this new friendship with Lee, one that might turn into a full-blown alliance if Lee's secret surfaces. Despite Lee's protestations about Luna being deceased, she's obviously hiding stuff. That was clear in the enigmatic way Lee reacted to Sheila, who questioned whether there'd be any kind of service. Lee replied it was already done and had been handled, but the look on her face suggested another story. Sheila may not be picking up on all the secrecy now, but it might alter sooner or later. Since Lee plainly has an alive Luna stored off-screen somewhere, she may decide she needs an ally. It's going to be a lot of work caring for Luna as she heals, so maybe Sheila could chip in, especially considering her experience as a nurse. Part of Lee might also have pity on Sheila since she's suffering this loss so severely. Sheila may have a rough time coming out of this rut, so perhaps Lee could ultimately decide to bring her in the loop on Luna's survival. Of course, another solution might be Sheila taking matters into her own hands. If Sheila finally has some questions about Lee hiding something, that might lead to her conducting some investigation. Sheila might play detective and follow Lee to her Luna sanctuary. That could be another approach to Lee's complete confession, coupled with her warning that Sheila can't tell Finn or anyone else that Luna isn't gone for good. Hope's engagement in crisis as Liam's recovery changes everything. Hope Logan has a hard choice when dying Liam Spencer makes a miraculous comeback. Will she keep her engagement to Carter Walton or return to her first love? Bold and beautiful spoilers. Hope's engagement in crisis as Liam's recovery changes everything. When a deathbed blessing becomes a living nightmare. Talk about awkward timing. Hope Logan finds herself in the most untenable situation after Liam Spencer's unexpected recovery from what everyone feared was a deadly illness. The man who genuinely told her to go ahead and find happiness with Carter Walton is now very much alive and breathing, and Hope's engagement now feels like it's built on quicksand. The foundation was already shaky. Here's the truth nobody likes to utter out loud. Hope only said yes to Carter's proposal because she worried Liam was dying. That's hardly exactly the romantic story you tell your grandkids, is it? Liam, fearing his days were numbered, gave Hope his blessing to proceed forward with Carter. He wanted her to be happy after he was gone. Noble? Sure. But now that he's defied the odds and survived? That blessing feels more like a curse. The whole thing has tragedy written all over it. Carter finally thought he'd found his happily ever after with Hope, the woman who wouldn't flutter between two men like certain someone we all know. Meanwhile, Hope thought she was following a dying man's desires by choosing stability above her difficult relationship with Liam. Those hospital scenes hit different. If you observed Hope by Liam's bedside during his health crisis, you know exactly where this is leading. The weeping, the hand-holding, the frantic prayers. That wasn't just concern for her daughter's father. That was a lady understanding she might lose the love of her life forever. And now that she hasn't? Well, Carter best start preparing himself for heartbreak, since Hope's eyes convey a different message than her engagement ring. The bond between Hope and Liam during those heartbreaking sequences was unmistakable. After years of their on-again, off-again drama, watching them in such a raw, vulnerable moment reminded everyone why Lope has been such an enduring love story. You can't fake that type of relationship, and you obviously can't compete with nearly a decade of shared experience. Carter deserves better than this. Let's be serious for a second. Carter Walton is a good man who's been everybody's second choice for much too long. The guy has been engaged more times than we can count, and it always ends the same way, with him alone while the woman runs back to her true love. Now he's witnessing his fiancée having second thoughts because her ex-husband didn't actually die. If that's not a sign to run, what is? Carter epitomizes everything Hope thinks she should want. Stability, maturity, no drama. But should isn't the same as does, and anyone with eyes can see that Hope's heart is already halfway out the door. The hapless man is set to become another casualty in the continuous Hope-Liam-Steffy triangle that's been spinning since 2010. What happens when death doesn't do them part? Liam's recovery transforms everything. That deathbed blessing? Consider it null and void. Hope isn't a heartbroken woman anymore, attempting to honor a dying man's last wish. She's a woman with two very living men who want to build a future with her. One offered her stability when she thought she'd lost everything. The other? He's the father of her child, her first love, and the man who just defied death itself.